and gentlemen, welcome to the GameSpot Studios where we are live Thursday, May 26th. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and I'm joined by Kevin VanOrd. Kevin, welcome to the chair.
Well, thank you. I just got in from boot camp, as you can tell.
You are all adorned.
Yeah.
Apparently you did pretty well because you've got patches galore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the Cub Scouts. They just keep sticking them on. I'm a Weebelo now.
They keep the regular stream of them going to boost your self-esteem.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, Kevin, you are here to show us a video game. Please name that video game.
That video game is Fallout New Vegas Honest Hearts.
Honest Hearts new DLC. New DLC that you have a review for going up shortly. But for folks, you're in that Fallout New Vegas, you want a little more. We're going to check this out. We're going to adventure. Where does this take place?
This is in the Zion National Park in Utah.
Okay. Gorgeous territory.
Well, yeah, gorgeous territory. I see what you did there. You're so clever.
Oh, how dare you implicate me in that pun?
Yeah, but in any case, yes, we're in Utah. We've heeded the call of a caravan company that wants to head into this place, but things didn't go so well. They never do in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. Yeah,
it's hard out there for a wanderer.
So we should probably check it out and see what's going on.
Yeah, where are you at here?
Well, we're in the park, as it turns out. I've got with me the fantabulous Waking Cloud, who is a midwife, and she's one of the two. Well, there are three major tribes in this DLC. One of them is the Sorrows, and they're kind of headed up by Daniel, this sort of religious leader. Oh, something's going on up there. So we'll just take care of this White Legs dude.
Is White Legs another one of the tribes?
He is. They're the rough tribe. They're the warring tribe. They're not.
As you can tell by the bullets heading your direction.
Absolutely.
So you're what are you rocking there? Like the little SMG?
Exactly. But you know what? We can always change things over if we wanna go for something different. Let's take a look and see what other weapons I've got. So that's. It's 12.7 millimeter submachine gun, but you choose. What do you want me to do?
Hollow
Chris?
rifle.
Hollow rifle. That is from the last DLC.
Yeah.
As it turns out.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan.
How does it take care of this scorpion?
Well, in this case, I don't.
Waking Cloud.
My companion did, but I'll use it for something else. I think there's some Yao Guai right around the corner. These are returning enemies from Fallout 3.
Big nasty bear-looking dudes.
They are big nasty bear-looking dudes. I think there are some right around the corner here.
All right, watch out for that hole. That bridge is not intact.
I'm not planning on falling down there.
Folks, remember, because we are live, we are taking your questions over Twitter and through the chat room. Oh, there goes a Yao Guai.
Yep, absolutely.
So join the chat. You see the button there to the right of the video player. Or shoot us an @GameSpot tweet, and we'll be taking your questions with Kevin VanOrd and Fallout New Vegas. I always want to say Hungry Hearts, but no.
I don't have the cannibalism perk, so it's not
Hearts.
Hungry Hearts.
Oh man. So what's Waking Cloud using to get the job done there?
You know what? I'm not sure. That's one of the. I keep calling them bear claws. I think those are from.
Claw.
I think those are one of the Yao Guai claws that I can also get. There's actually. Oh, I don't want to give anything away. Let's just say that there's a very special weapon that looks very similar to that you can get before the DLC is done.
Okay, so like you were saying, this hollow rifle is from the previous DLC. There's Honest Hearts offers new weapons.
New weapons. There's a 5 level cap raise.
Ooh.
Which is nice. There's some new perks that come along with it.
Can you give us an example of one of the new perks?
Well, there's one of them, for example, where if you've got a crippled limb, where you can actually do extra damage, additional damage for each crippled limb.
Okay.
So that's one of those.
If you have a
things.
crippled limb.
If I do, yes.
So you get fired up because your arm doesn't work right. You do extra damage.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and meet. There are two major figures in this DLC.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and move to one of them so that we can meet them. I'm going to go and meet. Well, you'll see in a second.
So pretty big area, Zion?
It's a pretty big area.
Yeah.
And you've got kind of two major figures, both of whom are relatively religious. There's Daniel, who's an ex-Mormon missionary. Well, he's still a missionary, but he started as Mormon missionary, and things have kind of taken a little bit of a turn. But he's a pretty peaceful guy.
Is that who we're headed to meet right now?
As a matter of fact, no. We are going to meet Joshua Graham, who is also called the Burned Man.
I can see that
you can see why.
he's possibly a burn victim.
Yes.
Or he's just faking it.
And well, he's
believe
not
him?
faking it. He escaped from some troubles with Caesar's Legion,
okay.
who believe him to be dead. But some believe that he's still alive, and of course he is.
So picking up, is that a story thread coming from the original game?
This is somewhat of a story thread coming from the original game, and there were some visual clues. And actually, this is an interesting little point, because this character was actually meant to be in the original vision of Fallout 3. If anybody remembers Van Buren, which was the isometric view Fallout 3 that they were working on, that ended up getting scrapped, he was going to be one of your followers.
Oh, really?
So as it turns out, I've been working with one of his people, Follows Chalk, who's interested in seeing more of the world. So I'm going to talk with Joshua.
It's been some time since I visited.
And see what he has to say, because Follows Chalk is kind of interested in seeing
I don't
civilization
have fond memories of them,
rather than sticking around
but
with
I have always
his
seen
tribe.
these places from
Okay.
the outside.
And Follows Chalk is
I'd
a
rather not
follower of his?
He's one of Joshua's followers, and also one of my followers. He's
Okay,
one of the
he's one of the guys who can come around with you and help maul scorpions.
absolutely. He's like right now I have Waking Cloud, but you can pick him up earlier as well. He's somebody you pick up earlier. So I'm going to tell him, because I think he should
Trump
leave and
needs
follow
more
his dream.
guidance in his life, just not for me.
But Joshua is going to leave it up to me to tell him what to do.
Okay.
And that's one of the things about the DLC, just like with Fallout New Vegas in general, is I get to make some choices as to how I want to handle things.
That's
and
nice.
this is one
Yeah.
of the smaller ways that I get to influence the world. It's like I can tell, Follows Chalk, hey, I think you should visit the outside, or I think you should just stick with what you know best.
So you're going to encourage him to strike out
Absolutely.
on his own.
Absolutely.
God be with you.
There's some talk in there about Salt Upon Wounds, who is the leader of the White Legs. That's the warring tribe that I shot the dude earlier.
Wow, yeah, she just like strapped on a Yao Guai thing, didn't she?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I have. You know what? This is earlier on, but before I was done, I had the best helmet ever
The best
in
helmet
Fallout.
ever.
Yeah, it was pretty much the best.
That's a bold
helmet
claim,
ever.
Kevin VanOrd.
It is a bold claim, but I'm willing to stand by that.
Okay, do you want to tell us more, or is that a surprise that you'll leave for folks? Who
Well,
wanna play through?
that's something that happens. Let's just say that as you get to the end of the DLC, you make a bunch more choices, and some of those choices could involve you ending up with some kind of neat stuff to take back to the wasteland.
So choose wisely.
Choose wisely always.
Now we got a question coming in from the chat room. Young Charter wants to know sort of how, what kind of length are we talking about here, and what kind of difficulty level?
I'd say 4 or 5 hours, probably. It probably took me about 4 hours to get through it.
Okay.
And I did, as far as I know, I did every quest available to me. But it depends on how much you want to explore. There are some caves all through here that you can definitely check out.
Yeah, Bretsky in the chat was also wondering about linearity versus exploring. So
It's definitely exploring. The last DLC, Dead Money, was pretty linear. I mean, you could do things in a different order, but it was pretty story heavy in terms of how you went through it and that kind of thing. Here, you've got a lot more chance to explore. It's a big area, so there's definitely a lot to see, and it's interesting looking. It's a nice change. We'll take a look here and see what the scenery is like. I mean, it's definitely a something different. You
Yeah.
still see the occasional burned car, although those things kind of seem out of place in this particular environment, but you still see
especially
that
if you're
stuff.
sort of deep in the national park, right?
Absolutely. I think this might be an entrance to a cave. We can always go in and check it out since I'm here. I don't know what's in here. I don't know that I remember, but I like to take
Let's
the
take
readers
a
along
look.
for a ride.
Yeah, let's see what surprises this little cave holds.
So we'll turn on the Pip-Boy light because it's just such an excellent light to give me a chance.
Oh yeah.
Now some of these caves are kind of filled with traps, so I want to be really careful. Although it's really, if anybody's played Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, you know that it's kind of hard to see those things. But this is pretty ambient.
Yeah, and
We've
that
got
was an issue
glowing
with the
mushrooms.
first New Vegas DLC, right? Was trapping really tough to see.
Yeah, those traps were really tough to see in those really red-orange environments that all kind of look alike. There's a lot more visual variety
Ooh.
here. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting, isn't it?
Sorry, Den Mother. I'm gonna kill you and your baby.
There we go.
Oh.
I do like, this is the best part of the Dead Money DLC, is this weapon. I
Yeah.
do like taking it with me everywhere I go. It's kind of the same thing with Fallout 3. Operation Anchorage had some interesting weapons. That was the best part of that DLC. And then I took them everywhere I went, pretty much. The Gauss rifle,
Yes.
if you remember from
Oh, yeah, you
Operation.
were-
I
you
took
raved
that
about
everywhere.
that one.
Yeah, I like that weapon a lot.
And do you like the Honest Hearts weapon as well?
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away about that particular thing, but let's just say if you like melee, then you'll probably enjoy this weapon that I picked up, along with the matching hat.
I know we have a few editors around here who prefer to do the melee and get up close and personal.
That is true. Curtis likes the hand-to-hand, actually, which I can appreciate that.
I remember when he was writing the guide for that, I'd look over at his screen, and it was always taken up by this huge piece of rebar with a concrete chunk on it for like most of the game.
Yeah, well, that's honestly though, that is an excellent weapon.
Yeah.
That is one of the that you can pretty much get through all of Fallout. Oh, and somebody had asked about the difficulty. You know, if you're one of those hardcore folks, I think that you'd probably enjoy it because there aren't a lot of stim packs, there aren't a lot of stuff like that to get. You definitely can get more use out of your cooking because there's yucca plants to pick up and stuff like that here. You know, and a chance to use those other things. Otherwise, if you're not one of those people playing on the hardcore difficulty, I got through it without dying once. So it's not that hard. Probably the only thing that might kind of irritate you is the return of those Cazador flies, which are not one of the better enemies. But I'm trying to jump, and this being Fallout.
Oh, we made it!
Doesn't really like me jumping.
Well, cool, Kevin. Anything else you want to mention about Honest Hearts before we wrap it up?
It's out. I think it's good, and it's a return to this is Fallout doing what Fallout does, and I think that speaks for itself.
Very cool. Well, thanks for coming by to show it off, folks. If you want to read more about Honest Hearts, Kevin's review is going up for that very shortly.